छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज कह के गए हैं कि जब लक्ष्य जीत का हो तो उसे हासिल करने के लिए कीमत चाहे कुछ भी क्यों ना हो उसे चुकाना पड़ता है। टुडे इज 19th Feb and it happens to be Shivaji Jayanti. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, a true patriot, a brave son of India who laid down his life protecting and fighting for his motherland. The very purpose of having my channel is to help my viewers, my students, and to have a very good expression, to give them a freedom of expression, and at the same time I also bring forth some very great stories of India. Shivaji Maharaj's life is full of such great heroic stories and tales, but one such story which we all are aware of and that we have read going back in our school days was that when Shivaji Maharaj was invited by Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, and how deceitfully he was made a captive, and then how did Shivaji Maharaj outsmart and free himself from the captivity of Aurangzeb from the fort of Agra. That's really something very interesting, and that is I am going to narrate. All we know that Shivaji has a very special war of technique that's called the guerrilla war of technique, and using the same war of technique Shivaji took hold of Juvail area in 1646 with a force of only 16 men, and he was also able to occupy many forts. After he defeated Shaista Khan, the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb sent a troop of 10,000 soldiers under the leadership of Maharaja Jai Singh. Maharaja Jai Singh and his troop attacked the fort of Purandar, where Shivaji was residing. As a result, a peace treaty was signed, which forced 23 forts out of 35 that were to be returned to the Mughal Emperor. And at the same time, Maharaja Jai Singh invited Shivaji, Maharaj Shivaji, that he should accompany him to the fort of Agra and his entire journey would be taken care of. On 5th April 1664, even Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb invited Shivaji, and he was promised a loyally welcome on his arrival. On 11th June 1666, Shivaji Maharaj with his son and a small troop reached the Mughal Darbar in Agra, but there he was ignored by Aurangzeb, and he was made to stand in the row of courtiers, which angered Shivaji. And when he tried to make his move, he understood that he was under arrest. Shivaji was never put in prison, but then he was not allowed to leave Agra for 3 months. After some time, Shivaji alleged to have suffered from a stomachache, and then doctors were called, and the doctors, after treatment of 3 days, Shivaji was declared fit, and as a result Shivaji announced that sweets were to be distributed among doctors and Brahmins and the poor people. So the huge amount of sweets were made, and they were transported and distributed in huge baskets of bamboo. Shivaji, taking as a chance, broke out hiding inside a big basket of bamboos, and he came out of that Darbar, the fort of Agra. Shivaji, when he came out of that Agra fort, instead of going towards Maharashtra, he headed towards Mathura, and going over there, he and his son shaved off his beard and moustache and put ash on his face, posing as beggars. And from there they proceeded on to Prayagraj, that is in Allahabad, and then to Buldelkhand, that's in Madhya Pradesh, and there to Golconda in Andhra Pradesh, and there after that they reached Raigad in the month of October after a journey of 2 months in 1666. So that was really something that we all have read, and interesting stories of Shivaji Maharaj. How did he free himself from the captivity of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb? Jai Hind!